listen.
Those words sound timidly. To be afraid because his wife is but 3 paces off when there's so great need, were but to prove the man that chose you made but a poor choice.
Yeah, the woman is a very realistic person. The woman knew when she lost the battle, and she won the peace. You know, she knew how to win the peace. She knew how to have her husband back. Of course, her husband really loves her. Really loved her. But you know, men, for being what people have made us to be, you know, the woman was so realistic. He knew that this man had penchant for women, and he knew that this particular woman had so much influence on the man. You know, a lot of women are in denial, you know.
Of course, I'm sure she would have tried without the side chick to bring the husband back to life. But when she didn't succeed, she wants her husband, she loves her husband, so she had to apply every means to get her husband back to life. So she felt the lover or slash side chick could help.
It wasn't spoken about with her husband, but she knew there was a mistress. So when this happened then, and she tried to bring him back to life, all of the priests and all the people who could do all of the incantations had tried, and nothing happened. Several sacrifices had been done and nothing happened. So then she realized, okay, this could be something about trying to call that his body had been taken over by the spirits when he went to fight the waves. So in order to call him out of the spirit, there had to be somebody who could reach him. And she'd done all she could. Okay, if he's spending so much time with this woman, perhaps she could help.
You have not kissed his lips nor laid his head upon your breast.
Maybe an image has been put into his place.
It's not an easy thing anyway. It's not an easy thing. I'm not advocating that men should go around having concubines. But when you know what your husband loves, you know, then you can know how to use that to get your husband.
You were not so dumbfounded when I was that bird of prey, and yet I am all woman now.
No, it's not aware of it. Like, this is an extreme situation, you know. So, and women, when we love and we want to keep our man, they will do whatever it takes to keep the man, which includes even if the man is alive and is trying to run away from them and they want to keep the man, they are willing to work with the side chick. They are willing to put everything away to accommodate the side chick.
We're about 2 women struggling with the sea.
Oh, my beloved, pardon me that I have been ashamed. I thrust my shame away. I have never sent a message nor called out. Scarce had a longing for your company, but you have always known and come. And if indeed you're lying there, stretch out your arms and speak. Open your mouth and speak, for to this day my company has made you talkative.
People think that it's only Africans that womanize. I was watching a movie recently, a documentary recently, where in the white man's country, there are this group of people that believe in marrying many women, not just 2. They marry 3, 4, 5. And they even consult the other women, you know, when they see another one that they want to marry. So it's not an African thing, it's a general thing. It's, you know, it's the way people view things, you know, but sometimes I ask people, what do you think make men to go after women? It is women.
So it was a big sacrifice on her part to forget the fact that this is not about me. This is about trying to bring him back to life. If she was selfish, she could let him die. Like, just die anyway. I have that hope. The hope that someday, somewhere, we'll sit together at the hearth again.
You see, when the director first called us and said he wanted to do the production and he wanted to use black characters, he said his reason, which after reading the play I totally agreed with him, was because he felt there was some similarity between our beliefs in Africa and the belief which was expressed in the play, the mysticism, the fact that there was another world and that we're ultimately controlled by things from this world we're in and things from the world of the spirit.
What do you come for and from where?
I have come from Mananan's court upon a bridleless horse.
What one among the Shias dared to lie on Cuchulain's bed and take his image?
named Brickru, not the man, that Brickru, maker of discord among gods and men, called Brickru of the She.
I think it's Ray, or maybe Ireland as a country, trying to integrate the immigrant community. Like if you have become Irish by naturalization, you have become part of their history, and you have to feel them. You have to be able to know their history, know where they are coming from, the host country, where they are coming from. You have to understand how they evolved. So this is part of like letting the immigrant community into their history. I remember the first time we did this in 2015 for the International Literature Week in Dublin, that was held in Ireland. I remember when we did it, most people were coming, especially the Irish, they were coming in to watch Irish people do it. So the twist and the surprise was also an excitement for them. So when they came and they saw black people, they were surprised.
Yeah, well, when you look at the man behind the play, the director of the play, is somebody who has a mind of multiculturalism. You know, he's interested in integration, and he has done so much. That is Ray Yates. So he brought us, the Nigerian Carnival, into this, and we were so excited, you know, because Nigerian Carnival, as a matter of fact, is an advocate of integration. We create a platform to bring cultures together to interact. So that's why we're so excited to do this play.
No. Well, I think from listening to the language and the way that it's done, there's so many similarities with even Pidgin English. Some of the phrases can be quite similar, which I'm finding really interesting. But the whole idea of the spirit world and, you know, spirits coming to take is very African, not even just Nigerian. It's a very African idea in the first place. So I think it's quite interesting to kind of say, hey, you know, this is so-called an Irish play, but if you put Nigerians here in the place, it still makes sense, and that maybe bridges some kind of gap or a union between Irish and Nigerian.
We kind of connect with the play because, first of all, it's a love story. Second of all, in Africa, we believe in mysteries and the spirit world and all of those. So we are able to connect with that as well. And we believe we in Africa, I mean, men have more than one wife and they have concubines. So we also understand that bit. So all of those married together make it easy for us to understand the play and to bring it to life.
An image has been put into his place. A sea-born lord bewitched into his likeness, or some stark horseman grown too old to ride among the troops of Mananan.
So it was that actually helped to bring the interpretation home, because I mean, back home we all have this belief that yes, that there are spirit beings there, and that sometimes our destiny is controlled by things from the other world. And so it was just the fact that it resonated well with our beliefs back home, or of mysticism and spirituality. That's why, and that's why the play also works very well, because we're coming from a background where we totally fully understand the concepts that was being expressed in the text.
No, I don't think it would bring a better understanding between the communities. I just think it would maybe be food for thought, so that people kind of, it's difficult, you never know what people are going to think anyway, but I think the idea is so that people can just say, hey, we're not that different.
And we bring a touch of Africanness into it as well.
Woman's beauty's like a frail bird, like a white seabird, alone at daybreak after stormy night.
And this was one of the beauties of it, the first time we ran it in 2015 at the Irish Literature Festival. One of the things that was said in a review was the fact that it was the first time they've seen it done so differently, but so brilliantly, with a twist and a touch of a different culture. So it works for us.
Yes, I think so. It will bring kind of warmth, because if it didn't, they won't call us back to do it again.
Irish play, written by a great Irish writer, W.B. Yeats. And when you see where the play is coming from, how strong it is in the Irish environment, and you see Africans playing it, you know, it's an exciting thing for us, for the director, and for everybody who had seen it before.
Oh yes, I think it will resonate very well with people in Africa. The language is very flowery, it's very poetic, just something similar to how we use words in Nigeria and Africa as well. So it will really resonate properly in Africa, yes.
But it goes beyond the ordinary. It's a bit, there's a bit of a mystique in there, you know, and that works for us. It's the interesting bit about this is having Nigerians play an Irish role that most directors are running.
This Yeats play is quite old, and I don't think modern Ireland is necessarily quite, you know, in touch with the same ideas, you know, because the young people of Ireland, you know, used to call up spirits and all that stuff. That's not their reality now. You know, it's still something quite far in the past. So using that, I think it is a good kind of platform and a basis just to kind of say, hey, look, our histories, you know, or our mythology. Yes, exactly. I've enjoyed it. It's been a learning curve because the language is quite different, this verse, and there's a specific way that verse has to be acted and, you know, paced. There's structure, and that has kind of, you know, it's taken a few readings to really understand, and you have to understand it to be able to play it. But I've enjoyed it, and I love, like, working with the rest of the cast. I was saying it's like coming home.
I've worked with everybody, every member of cast before. I have worked with Yemi and Deji Adenuga. I've worked with Penelope before, and I had also worked with Esosa before. And besides, this is the second time we're actually doing the play. The production was first staged as part of Dublin International Literature Festival in 2015. And it was well widely received, and this is the second time we're doing it. Slightly different interpretation now, but we've still tried to retain the essence of a text. And working with the crew and the cast has just been fantastic.
Absolutely. The great thing about the characters working together is we've worked together before quite a number of times. So we've had that connection from the beginning, and everyone understands the story. So we're delivering the story. The message here is love conquers all. You know, while there's all of the mysteries and the mystique and the sacrifices and everything, we're simply saying love conquers all. So while it is still also an Irish story played by Africans, the message is a universal message.
A woman's beauty's like a white frail bird, like a white seabird, alone at daybreak after stormy night.